Amen. Are you excited to be in the house of the Lord? I'm wise enough to know now that song didn't resonate with everybody yet, but amen. But I understood that somebody here today that came. Amen. God sent you a word to let you know the storm is over. Amen. You never know when your storm is over, but instead of going other places trying to figure out when your storm will be over, it's better to come to the man who created the storm. So that he can be the one to tell you that your storm is over. Amen. It's something about when he tells you, the one who has all power in his hands, that can stop a storm, that can speak to a storm and says, come, be still. God Almighty. If he tells you that your storm is over, amen. But I recognize, Sister Talisha, and understand that I've been walking long enough that there's three type of people in the world, amen, and there's three type of things that's going to happen. It's the one that's coming out the storm, amen, the one that's about to go in the storm, and the one that's in the storm, amen. And you got to figure out what part you in, that if you stay long enough, you'll be able to hear him tell you the storm is over now, amen. Many times we hang with so many people and we get information from other people, and sometimes we can pray and pray for the wrong things, and sometimes we want to ask ourselves, why is God not answering our prayer? Why is God not hearing me? But sometimes you think God is not answering your prayer, but God is actually speaking to you, because, see, sometimes we can pray to God and ask God to take the storm out of our life. Good God Almighty, AJ. But see, God don't want to remove storms from out of our life. God wants the storm to stay there so he can teach you a lesson in the storm. Amen. God said, I don't want to remove your suffering. I want to transform your suffering. If I stay in the storm long enough, I can realize that God can dry my tears up to make me smile again. Amen. And see, too many times we have too many microwave Christians, microwave pastors, microwave deacons, because they ain't never been through nothing. And so when I got somebody that's coming and they've been through something, I want to give them something. But I need to tell you, sit there. Be still. Listen to God. Amen. Because see, it's something different than when I go through something. Talk to me, Jesus. When I go through some sickness in my body, when I go through the love of a lost one, I can see how God can put me in the palm of his hand. I can see that when I feel lonely and I have lost all of my friends, that as long as I stay put with God, you ain't lonely. God is saying you ain't need all of that. One of your friends in you. God, the only true friend that I need, he sits high and he looks low. He said, when you can't understand stuff, he said, come to me and I'll figure it out, because guess what? The one that I serve is not the author of confusion. He don't want you walking around not knowing what's happening. We don't know who we walking with. He said, Emmanuel, God with us. Hey, judge. If I ain't got nobody on my team, guess what? I got the Lord on my side. Yes, sir. Hey, Roy, when you were hanging with me, I had a whole lot of buddies. Good God Almighty. I'm trying to tell you, Russ, and ain't nobody called me in the last 10 years to say, hey, you all right, you need a couple dollars. Good God. And they still owe me a couple dollars. Amen. But guess what? Guess who's been with me? Amen. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Amen. Because guess what? They can keep them couple dollars. Because I guess what? They're going to have to come circle back around. Amen. God is so good today. I'm excited. Amen. If you have your Bibles, we're going to look at Psalm chapter 30. We're going to pull two scriptures, two verses off the pages, and have verses 4 and 5. When you have it, would you please stand in reverence to God? If you're able, Psalm chapter 30, verses 4 and 5. Scripture reads, sing to the Lord, you saints of his. Praise his holy name. For his anger lasts only for a moment, but his favor lasts a lifetime. Weeping may remain for a night. Weeping may remain for a night, but rejoicing comes in the morning. You may be seen. Otherwise, Heavenly Father, we come to you this morning and say thank you, dear God. Dear God, thank you for your grace and your mercy. Thank you for your Son, dear God. Thank you for your Holy Spirit. We invite you into this service today and ask that you have your way. Touch hearts, minds, and souls today. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Amen. I had a wonderful week this week, and I've always, this studying this text, it had me thinking a lot about my nieces and spending time with them this week, and I thought about this text, and the text had me thinking. As they were riding in the car with me this week, and I could hear them in the back of the car talking, and even on yesterday, it's something that I always notice, but it's something that I noticed, and I thought y'all thought that Uncle Rob was special, because every time I talk to y'all, y'all smile, amen, but I heard a little bit that everybody y'all talk to, y'all smile at, amen, but I know I was the special one, amen, but I want to make sure I'm special in y'all lives, but I realized that when I look at this text, Marissa and Gabrielle, that I always want y'all to look at me as your uncle, but it's a way that I want y'all to look at me to understand that I love y'all, but I realize sometimes that being around y'all, and you know how I feel about your mom, sometimes y'all can say and do some stuff, and for me as Uncle Rob, might not think that you appreciate Mommy all the time. And sometimes Mommy got to call me, amen, and say you need to talk to them, amen. But y'all know majority of the time, Uncle Rob don't want to have to discipline you. Most of the time, Uncle Rob just want to love on y'all, amen. So the characteristic of Uncle Rob is a loving Uncle Rob. But sometimes, Mommy got to say, Uncle Rob, you need to call and talk to them or come see them, right? But tell me, when Uncle Rob got to do that stuff, it's very few, but not many times, but it don't last always, amen? It's very short, you see what I'm saying? So we understand that since I love y'all, I got to come and tell y'all, you got to show Mommy some love. Amen. But I want you to think about, it's not a long time because it's quick. Because as soon as I say it, y'all smile back at me, right? So I always want y'all to smile, but as long as Uncle Rob comes say, hey, make sure you appreciate Mommy. And in this text today, we look at this, and I wanted to think about, as we were riding to Mercer, you had me thinking, Mercer, because you got me excited when you started to talk about the book, and we call it a tailback, and Mercer was reading this book, and she said, Uncle Rob, I started reading the book that you gave me. I finally slowed down from not working this summer, and I got into the book, and as I was driving, she was so excited about talking about the book in the back of the car. I'm trying to look forward and driving, but the excitement for her telling me to tailback, I kept looking in the rearview mirror so that I could see her face, and she went on Russ, and she got to talking, and then she stopped, and she said, guess what? I'm finished chapter 1, and I'm excited about starting chapter 2. See, too many of us are reading these short books. Good God Almighty. But God said we need to upgrade to reading a novel. And see, a novel is a long story, and I'm trying to tell you, God is trying to write a novel about you. And you used to reading little books, and did you understand how the story ends? But I come to tell you today, your story doesn't end that way. That if you can get in the book and keep flipping the pages, good God Almighty, for as long as God wakes you up every day, you get to flip a page. And one day you're going to flip a page, and just like Marcel said, guess what? I'm starting a new chapter in my life. And I come to tell you today that everybody here, if you can receive it, the title of this thing is saying, there's a new chapter in your life. I need us to understand that it don't matter how dark it's been, how much trouble you've been, how much suffering you. If God wakes you up every day, guess what? He's flipping a page in your life. No. And see, as long as I keep getting up, long as he keeps flipping these pages, guess what? Eventually, I got to get to the next chapter. And I say here that now, Marcel, that we got to this next chapter. David here is saying, sing to the Lord, you saints of his, praise his holy name. As we said, we want to tag this a new chapter. And since I understand as a Christian, and many times we try to figure out what do we do when we come together. And what we do is when we come together, guess what? We celebrate. And see, we celebrate because I'm not naive about how I got here, Avante. And see, Avante, as you grow up, you won't realize that some people that you looked up to, some people that you admired, there's some stuff that they told you, but when you become a man, you're going to start saying, man, they told me this, but I see them do this. And they're going to start to tell you 2 + 2 is 6. And you won't have enough sense to say, man, 2 + 2 ain't 6, it's 4. But you keep walking around trying to tell me it's 6 because, see, now they're trying to flip something to say the reason that I'm doing this, you don't have to. And I want you to understand that a real man, I'm trying to teach you something here. A real man, most men going to want to live their life the way that they want to live. But see, if you choose to do that as a young man, this is all I want you to do. If you choose not to listen to daddy, if you choose not to listen to mom and say, I'm going to do it my way. If you choose to do that, then when you grow up and life show up and it starts to get hard for you, don't go back to mommy and daddy and start crying. I'm saying stand up as a man and say, I'm going to take what came my way because I chose to live this way. So you got 2 options. It's the option to listen to what my mother and father tell me, or I can do it my way. Because I'm going to tell you some wisdom. If you do it the way mommy and daddy tell you to do it, and stuff don't turn out right, guess what you can say? Mommy and daddy, amen, you told me to do this. Now it falls back on them. And so if they realize as a mommy and a daddy, it's their job to give you wise counsel, they'll get in the book. Too many of us as parents, we think just because we're a parent, we want to tell our kids what to do, but you don't know what to do. You need to get in the book to teach them what to do. Because if a wise child get wise, they say, man, daddy, you told me. Where we at, Rob? I'm trying to get in the book. But, oh, man, this one here, boy. Robin is so funny, right? It's this lady that sit out front of Best Buy all week, every week. And she don't forget nothing. And it just dawned on me, I forgot all about it. So we saw her last week, and Robin made a comment. And yesterday, she saw her, and she made a comment. So she reminded me last week as we rode by Best Buy, she saw a lady, I want to say in her late 60s, sitting out front of Best Buy, but I want to say she worked in the little, the physical therapy place. So the lady is sitting on the curb as cars drive by, smoking a cigarette. So Robin looked at her, she said, Dad, she too old to be smoking cigarettes. And I said, Robin, she shouldn't be smoking cigarettes. And she said, Dad, you're not understanding. He said, she should know better by now that cigarettes aren't good for her. Because she's too old for that. And he's saying she should eventually learn that it's to put some sickness in her body. She should be coughing by now. She should be doing that. But if she realized all the sickness and all the coughing that she got and she still don't quit, she can't go to the doctor and complain when they tell her that she got lung cancer. She can't go to nobody and say, I'm not feeling well, because she chose to go outside and still light that cigarette at the age that she is. And God is telling us now that we need to realize if you choose to live your lifestyle the way that you live, don't put it on nobody else but you accept. Pay the cost to be the boss if you say. Lay in your bed and see now David here is realizing that how good God is. And see, David had cut up. Walk with me, Tim. And see, Misha, this is what pays for you to stay with the Lord. And see, because see, some of us sometimes we come and we walk with the Lord and we don't get in the book. And we don't find out with Daquan. And see, I messed with Daquan one day and I told him, hey, I'm going to come by your house and if your father not there, I'm going to come by and I'm going to say, man, hey, bring me some food out of the refrigerator and also give me a couple dollars. And Daquan said, man, if you come by my house and ask me for some food and a couple dollars, I know my father didn't tell me to give you some food and a couple dollars. But I'm trying to tell Daquan of who his father is. Amen. And Daquan said, if you can't tell me who my father is, I'm going to tell you who my father is. And too many of us are letting other people tell us who Jesus is, and we should have enough sense by now to say, my father don't act like David realized that he cut up. And David realized that the Holy Spirit had worked on him, the Spirit inside him worked on him, and somebody sent to him and said, hey man, what you did wasn't right. David had counted the people, and now David had realized that he messed up, and God had sent a messenger to David to say, hey, you done messed up, and guess what? There's a consequence to your sin. I want to say he gave him 3 options. He said one of the options was that I can let you fall into the hands of man, and the other one, I can't really recall the other option, but the third option was that I will let you fall in the hands of man, and there was another one, and the last one was that you can fall in the hands of God, and there will be a plague on the land for 3 days. David went on and said, man, don't let me fall into the hands of man. We know how our brothers and sisters, our cousins, our family members, don't let them know that you've been cut up and you've been doing good, and let them, they're going to run you in the ground. They never going to forgive you. I'm talking about man. Amen. We understand how people do you, amen. And David had enough sense. He knew that man was going to do worse to him than with God. And he said, don't let me fall into the hands of man. He said, I will take my punishment from God. He had enough sense, and I'm trying to tell us that the longer we stick with God, we understand Mary, Sam, and Gabrielle, like Uncle Rob. Mommy, don't call this person, call Uncle Rob. Because I know Uncle Rob loves me enough, he's going to tell me, he's going to give me my business, but I know as soon as he tells me, he's going to be back to being Uncle Rob. And the longer we stay with God, we know that God got to chasing us. Amen. God got to, he gonna tap that problem. He gonna put a little fire on that thing, right? Amen. He gonna put some fire on it for a little while, but we understand that it's not gonna last long. Amen. And David understood that, and David went through some stuff, and they sent some plagues, and it was kind of rough when I read it, because when God sent the plagues, there 70,000 people fell dead. Now the plague came, and then David had to look up, and they looked up, and they saw an angel from heaven about to come down with a sword and kill the whole Jerusalem. And he knew that when God saw that and David saw that, David said, God, this is not going to be good. This is not going to be a good testimony if you wipe us all out. And God, in his compassion and mercy, he said, man, stop. This is enough. He said, I've been whooped them long enough. And see, some of us deserve a beating. Amen. Yeah, I know you don't want to admit that you've been cut up, but you deserve a beating. And sometimes, if we man enough, Avante, that I'm not talking about you, but see, some of us adults, if we man and woman enough to say, guess what? I ain't raised my kids right the way that I was supposed to raise them. I didn't pay my taxes. I didn't do everything that I was supposed to do. And now I'm in the situation that I am. I'm going to take my consequences. And God has said that if you can do that and say, Lord, I've sinned and I've sinned against you only, I'd rather sit with God, because I know God that God won't. He gonna what I tell y'all Thursday. God straightened me up. He straightened me up real quick, and I realized, but I'd rather have God straighten me up than someone else. And so God had to straighten David and them out, and David, and then so he said, man, enough is enough. And God and David saw that he went through all of this stuff, and God came through for him. I need us to understand that David here is saying, I've been through the storm. I've been through the fire, and I deserve to still be in the fire. How many of us think we deserve to be out of what we in? Because you all that in a bag of chips. Yeah, because see, you still did what you did last night, and you know that you wasn't supposed to. Matter of fact, you did it this morning. And you're going to do it when you leave church today. And God is saying, His grace and His mercy, what we talking about third? He's still winking at you. And see, we take God's slowness and we take it, but God says, I'm winking at you, but don't think that you should. Amen. Amen. You a good friend, right, Tina? Yes. But see, at some point in my life, I can be around you so much and I can start taking your friendship for granted. Amen. And now I'm not appreciating your friendship. So now I'm walking around thinking that I deserve your friendship, but you know how much you bring to the table. And so how in the world can I walk around expecting and thinking that I can treat her, do anything to her and hurt her feelings and not care about it, and she know how much she's worth? And God is saying, I know how much I'm worth. I know how much I can do for you, and you can't just extent you're going to keep walking around and not feel sorry about how you treat me and dealing with me. And God is saying, today I need you to say, just admit, enough is enough. That you know what? Lord, I thank you that you winking at me. See, you ain't grateful. Guess if he stopped winking at you. I don't go down the back road, but I know what's on the back road. I know what's on 6th Street. I know what's uptown. And everywhere you go, God is winking at you. But what if he stopped winking at you and expose you in front of everybody? Ain't gonna feel right. Ain't gonna look right. But he winking at you. And so he's saying, recognize that I'm winking at you. And so now that I recognize that he's winking at me, I should want to get myself together. Because you see, if he stopped winking at me, then I realize that I'm nothing. But thanks be to God that he's winking at me. And so now that I came through this storm, not by anything that you ever been with your back up against the wall, and as men, we try to figure out, we conquerors, we're more than conquerors. And you back us up in the corner, we trying to figure out how to get out this corner. But at some time in this life, us men, we're going to get in the corner and we're going to realize I can't get out of this corner. And then I'm going to look to the right and I'm going to look to the left, and then I'm going to realize, man, God has been with me the whole time. Why haven't I been using him? And God's going to stop winking at you and he's going to look at you. When are you going to ask me to help? All right. And then when you ask him to help you and he gets you out, you're going to say, man, why haven't I been doing this the whole time? Come on. God is showing David here that you know you didn't cut up, you know you didn't messed up, but my love and my grace showed up. And so from my love and my grace, I showed up, I stopped the sword. That sickness, I know many of us, because we still young, amen, especially Uncle Will. But see, some of us old timers like me, Drake, we got some sicknesses in our body. And see, some sicknesses in our body, we thought that was going to take us out. But when I realized that God came through and healed my body, I said, if it had not been for the Lord on my side, where would I be? I went through the pain. We won't get there. But it had so much to me because I can remember when my mom used to take me to the doctor as a baby. And I could remember when I was maybe Robin age and didn't like needles. Couldn't understand what needles was for. Didn't like needles. All the lady had to do was pull the needle out and I stopped crying. But now that I'm a grown man and that needle comes, I've learned that if I take this shot, it's going to be better for me. See, the needle hurt for a second, Angel, but the benefits of it are outlasting for a long time. Uncle, I got to ask you at the end of the service anyway, because I think all of y'all got it, because I don't know. What's the thing that's right here? It was a shot because my mom had it, but I don't have, okay, because I don't have one. But all of them had it. And I feel like y'all are more healthier than me. Why didn't I get this shot? My mother had it and all y'all had it, but they had the shot on their arm that you could see the mark. Everybody got the mark. But I realized, I know that had to hurt, and it only hurt for a second. But the benefits of that last a lifetime. And so what God is saying, it's some stuff he's going to have to do to us because of some stuff that we did, and it's going to hurt for a second. But if I sit there and take the whooping, if I take the suffering for him, he said the benefits are going to outlast him a longer time. I need us to realize that when we need to understand that God is going to be understanding who he is, he's saying, sing to me a new song. God is saying this new chapter that's in his life, the first thing we need to understand, and in verse 4 it says, see the celebration. He said, sing to the Lord, you saints of his, praise his holy name. We first need to understand that when God brings us through, when he brings us through and we realize that we shouldn't have got through, we should celebrate. But I need us to understand that when we get there, see, God is saying we can get confused that when God bless you And you'll shout at home when ain't nobody around. When you didn't cut up and he didn't bless you, you in the house calling everybody in the house because you cried. But God is saying, see, your neighbors and your friends saw your suffering. But when you come out, you quiet. And God said that when we come together here, he said he needs us to sing unto him a new song. And so now when we're together, it's going to be a joyful noise because, see, God has brought all of us through something and we know that we didn't deserve for him to bring us through. So what should we do when we come together? We need to sing to the Lord. He said, you saints of his. And I need us to understand that, see, everybody not going to sing. Everybody not going to make it through the storm. Everybody not going to get there, but he's saying, you saints. And these saints, another Bible might say, for the faithful ones. And these faithful ones are saying, the ones who are owned by the Lord. In other words, they also say, you who are loyal, walk with me, church. I don't know why it's always to the man's side, because it's a difference of a man's side. But it ain't nothing like a man when a man put his heart in a woman's hand. Amen. It's going to take us a while to do that. But if I put my heart in your hand, yes, Lord, and then I go broke. Yes. I got you. Well. But see, if I put my heart in your hand, and I go broke. But see, Roy, I understand if I go broke, it's something that's inside of me that I'm going to get back. Yes, Lord. You might not know it yet. But if you stick with me when I get back, I know I got to do it. But most times, you leave me when I'm down. And I'm trying to tell you that God says, if I need some loyal saints that's going to love me in the good times as well as the bad times. God said, I need someone that's going to love me when I'm blessing your bank account. I want someone that's going to bless me when you lose your job. God said, I want the one that's still going to love me when you get diagnosed with some sickness in your body. Because he's saying that if you stick with me, you're going to see the salvation of the Lord. They're the only ones that's going to sing. Because, see, the other ones, they left. They stopped coming. It got too hot in the kitchen. But God said, if you stay long enough in the kitchen, guess what, brother Tucker? You start saying, it ain't hot in here. It ain't that hot. I like sweat. God almighty. Next thing you know, brother Tucker sweating bullets, and he say, I like the sweat. And God is saying, for those ones that are faithful, those ones that remain loyal to me, we like people that remain loyal to us, and God is saying, the ones who remain loyal to me, I need you to sing to me. The songs that God is telling us to sing to him when we come in, and it says, you thought I was worthy. He's saying, I never could have made it without you. If it had not been for the Lord on my side, where would I be? He's saying, sing these songs to me. He's saying, the songs that we sing when we come together, it should recognize that I'm talking about him. And the only way that I'm going to sing this song to the Lord, Sister Tina, is if I stay here. And see, God is... Many of us are not good with brothers' names and sisters' names, right? Amen. But if I stay long enough around you, I'm going to eventually learn your name. Amen. But the more I stay around him, and God says I'm trying to reveal my name to you. And the Israelites stayed there, so God had to reveal his name to him, saying, I'm Yahweh, I'm Jehovah. But the only way he could reveal their name to him is through experience. And when they experienced, he said, this is the one true God, Yahweh. And God is saying, I'm trying to show you and tell you what my name is. And now that he says that, he said, I need you to sing, and I need you to sing with your voice. This singing that he's talking about, he said, I don't need you to play the congos. I don't need you to play the drums. I don't need you to play the guitar. He said, I need you to lift up your voice. He said, I need you to use your voice. And this voice, as mom would mess with you, RJ, she don't want us. God is saying that when we come in the sanctuary, when we come outside, he's saying, use your outside voice. He's saying, get loud. Say, Lord, I love you. Lord, thank you. He's saying, get loud. Let somebody hear you. Let alone talk loud enough so that God can hear you. He said, don't use your inside voice. He said, it don't matter where you are. When you recognize that I brought you through the storm, talk so that I can hear you. God is waiting for us because, see, you will talk loud at a football game. You will talk loud at the boxing game. You will talk loud at the bar. You will talk loud when you're on the strip. But God says, when it comes to me, the one and only one that brought you through that, why are you getting quiet? He says, sing to the Lord, you saints of God. Not only is he saying sing, he's also saying praise his holy name. So we understand that it's praise and it's worship. And this celebration, Sister Ray, he's saying it should be some singing. And when we come here, he's saying it should be some praising. So both of them are praising. But he's saying, what should I sing about when I come? Amen. And he's saying that you should sing about my holy name. This praise that he's talking about, he's saying in the church, he's saying he needs us to celebrate him. Because, see, I brag about the new job that I got. I brag about the new shoes that I got. I brag about the new wife that I got. I brag about the new baby that I had. And God is saying, ain't none of them was the ones that brought you through. Amen. But when I recognized that it was God that got me the job, when I recognized that it was God, hopefully, that got you the husband. When I recognized that it was God that got me the wife, when I recognized that it was God that got me the car, when I recognized that it was God, the one that healed my body, I'm not coming to celebrate and brag on no car. I'm coming to celebrate on the one who gave me the car. It says, praise his holy name. And so when I recognize the praise is talking about the church. And so now that I'm in church, he says his holy name. So I want us to understand that when we come here, we talking about the Lord. This is not no common name. He said, this ain't no common worship. He said that when we come here, it's only one name. Amen. One name. And that one name is, we understand that it's Jesus. Yeah. And he said it's holy. This name, this God that we worship, this God that we praise is separated. Amen. He sits high above high. It's only one real God. He said everything else is a copycat. They fake. They can't do it. He said when we come, we praise his name. And he says, when you come, I need you to brag on me. Amen. And so when I brag, that when outsiders come, when people come and they see, I understood what you went through, and they say, man, Sister Ray is always bragging on her God. Amen. Uncle Stump is always bragging about his God. And so then when I understand, I say, man, the reason that I brag is because, see, God turned a new chapter in my life. Yeah. So since God turned a new chapter in my life, guess what? I got to celebrate his name. Yeah. And since you got in my business, you got a couple seconds, let me tell you why I celebrate. And the reason that I celebrate is the cause is for his anger lasts only a moment. But his favor lasts a lifetime. Weeping may remain for a night, but rejoicing comes in the morning. See, well, now I got to go back and act like I'm smart like you, right? So we understand there's a new chapter. We understand that there's a celebration. And we understand that the reason that I celebrate is because there's a cause. There's a cause for my celebration. And in this cause, we got to do some contrasting, and actually it's just comparing, but I'm comparing to contrasting things, and this contrast is because I want to show you two things, but I want to show you some differences. Amen. So we understand this second point is the cause, and the thing is, it says, for his anger lasts a moment, but RJ, his favor lasts a lifetime. So now I got anger and I got favor. I got anger and I got favor. And he says his anger lasts a moment, but his favor lasts a lifetime. You understand as a good father that you had to discipline your kids. But they also understand that you had some good times with your kids. And so God is saying here, and David is recognizing that I'm a child of God. And David said that I've been with God for a while, and I understand for his anger lasts a moment. but his favor lasts a lifetime. So I'm contrasting to let you know the difference here. And see, many times we tripping on the anger. We tripping on the suffering. We tripping on what we going through. But guess what? He says it's only for a moment. And see, this moment saying it's a short time. We contrast. And see, the anger is only but a short time. The needle was only for a short time. The sickness was only for a... How many of us in here been sick? Come on, man. It was only a short time. It ain't last forever. It was short. He's saying his anger only lasts a moment, a short time. But we need to recognize where the anger came from first. The anger came from a strong emotion from something that he disapproved that you did. Don't get it twisted. The anger came, you got to beat him because he disapproved something that you did. And now I recognize that the suffering, the beating that I got was caused on me, but he only whooped me for a short time. Amen. Then when I woke up in the morning, guess what it says? His favor lasts a lifetime. Because when the suffering came, I didn't quit. So when I realized that it only lasted a short time, and I kept walking with him, I realized that his favor lasts a lifetime. I'm talking about his favor, AJ. And see, it's something about when they talk about you. And see, you learn the keys to mommy and daddy heart. Keep it cool. Don't press them too much. But when you need something, you make a noise, and guess what? They do it. Every time I'm trying to tell you, man, you're a wise young man. And see, if we learn how to please our Father who's in heaven, good Lord, I learned how to know that when I get out of line, God's going to whoop me and make me suffer for a minute, but it's only for a moment. But in those good times, I learn how to talk and please my Father. And the reason that he's saying it's only a short time because guess what? You got your act together. Amen. And now that I got my act together, God is saying my favor is me accepting what you do on a daily basis. Amen. Let me work with you, Kurt. I understand it. It's God's favor, which is his love and his kindness. I'm going to go with you. I'm your man. But my resources ain't but so long. You can say some stuff to me, you can do some stuff to me, and I can try the best that I can, but I'm only a man. And you know that I got some limits on me. But if the one who has no limits says that you find favor with me forever, who am I going to try to please? He's saying his favor lasts a lifetime. Then it gets better, right? That since I accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, this favor, that when I leave here, guess who's leaving with me? My favor never gonna stop. Y'all. That when I leave here and then I go to be in his presence, it's still gonna be favor in. It don't stop with me here. So now I'm just getting used to, that's why I say the more I stay in the Lord and excited, we going on 15 years, but I say, Drake, that the longer that I stayed in the marriage, I learned how to love her more. And I'm like, she didn't even know I could love like this in 10th grade. I didn't even know how to love like this in 10th grade. Come on, man, it's just little crazy stuff. I would be driving on. I said, man, let me get this for her, just mess her eyes up. Coming out, so you bought that? Yeah, I bought that because I want to see that smile on your face. And it's all on. As a 10th grader, I could be like, man, I'm going home, get me some McDonald's and come out. She'd be like, I ate McDonald's. What you want to eat? Right. No, I realized that I want to put a smile on her face. And it's all on what time that I stayed with her and I learned how to make her happy and make her love. And God is saying here that this is only a rehearsal. This is where it starts at. Yes, so by the time I get... Come on, team. Then if I keep practicing this thing here, then by the time I get in his presence, I don't know about you, but he gonna say, hey, my man, hey, Ron, fat boy, come here. So I'm like, what's up, G? He was like, I heard how you were talking about them string beans and that cabbage and that mac. He said, before I put you to work,
He said, man, I got a spread at the table for you. And guess what? He said, I know how you watching them carbs and all that. He said, this is the good food. He said, this is not going to mess with your cholesterol. This is not going to mess with your high blood. He said, go over there and have a feast. See, I'm a little older now, Linda. But see, little Rob can eat the mac and cheese all he wanted to don't bother. But I look at the mac and cheese and say, man, he can't beat me and eat no mac and cheese, but he can beat me. It just started messing with me on the stump. But when I look, so when we go to, let me ask y'all parents to forgive me. That when I go to the buffet with these kids, I let these kids go buck wild because I'm living through them. I can't eat the food like they can eat the food. So when I see Javon go there and get 5 or 6 ice creams and eat 3 and leave 2, go back and get some cake, and I see AJ get a plate full of mac and cheese, and I see Devontae get all the pieces that he wants, I want that. But at the age I am now, if I eat that, I'm not waking up the next day. So I got to realize, man, eat up. Just eat it up. So I'm saying, parents, forgive me that when we go and I'm just saying, please, let the kids have fun, let them eat. It's for me. I want to go home and smile and say, man, the kids tore that thing up. And see, God, when that chef saw us eating out, he said, man, good. See y'all later, have a good day. I knew that when he was talking. He said, man, get them big boys up out of here. That's what I was looking for. I wanted the chef to be mad. I want them to see every time we run up in there, I said, man, I want them to say, man, watch them eat. Forgive me. But I love them. But see, there's something about them kids. I want to be like, if they want, I'm leaving, I hope I ain't going to mess with you. When we got on the parking lot, you know, when we were growing up, we had to hide our money in. So we put our money under our shoe and our sock. Daquan took it to, first Avery took it to another level, but then Daquan took it to another. The first time I met Avery took the gummy bears and just straight put them in his pocket. Daquan took it to another level. We got outside, he said, look at my socks. He put gummy bears in his socks. But he had the elastic at the bottom of his pants. I'm trying to say, how did you get another gummy bear over the elastic? But I'm like, I wish I could be there. I wish I could be there, but let's get it. I'm just trying to tell y'all, kids, I love being around y'all. When we go to the buffet, we come to have fun. Amen. He said, for his anger lasts only a moment. We seeing the differences there. It's only a short time, but his favor, his approval, his kindness, his love is going to sit with us forever. It says, weeping may remain for a night. He didn't say it's going to leave, but I need us to understand, he's saying, but rejoicing comes in the morning. He said, in your dark times, you're going to cry. Understand, he said, I need you to cry. I need you to understand that it's going to cry. He says, in that dark season, you will be weeping. You will be crying. He's saying, it's going to continue. But he's saying, understand that. See, if I take that notion and say that I'm not going to cry, I can't get that experience that God dried my tears in. It's something that when you go through something in life that you realize that you didn't think you was going to make it, and you cried about it. And you kept crying about it. And God came through to dry your tears. There's a different experience. And he's saying, weeping may remain for a night. It continued all night. But guess what, Sister Ray? After night, guess what comes? Joy. But morning comes. He said, nighttime comes, but morning is coming. And see, I'm glad you came today. Because I'm going to say, hopefully, some of us went to sleep last night when it was dark. But we woke up this morning, and it was morning. And he's telling us saints, us loyal saints, he's saying, I want you to understand, the night, the suffering, it's over. It's rejoicing time. He's saying, rejoicing comes in the morning. He said that when you see light, it's time to rejoice. And see, this rejoicing is coming from, he's saying, I need you to celebrate me for one or two things. That when he woke me up this morning, I got the victory. Not only did I get the victory, I succeeded on what I messed up on yesterday. So said that when I realized and I woke up this morning, I'm rejoicing because joy came in the morning. And so when this joy came, I understand that this joy that he's saying that when I'm rejoicing, I ain't getting up in the morning, Sister Misha, and not saying thank you, Lord. He said that when I realized and he woke me up in the morning, he's saying I'm uttering sounds of great joy. Once again, I ain't quiet about it. Because I realized how much I cut up yesterday that he could have took me in my sleep. I could have realized that I didn't make it when I woke up this morning. But somewhere when I stayed in our book, I realized that every morning that I wake up, new grace and new mercy wakes up for me. So there's something for me to rejoice about. And coming to a conclusion, Sister Murray said, see, many of us, we go to bed at night and we shut our books. And we think that's what we're doing when we shut our book. So imagine that you got to a rough couple of pages in that first chapter. And you went to bed and you said, man, this is how my story ends. This is how my life is going to end. You went to bed on that, and so now you went to bed hopeless. But God is saying that even though you went through those pages, you realize that I can't wait till the next morning my pages. Because I understand that if I keep on flipping these pages of life, eventually morning time is going to come. And then when that morning time is going to come, I realize that every time that God put me to bed and wake me up, he's flipping pages. Long as I can keep him flipping pages, Kurt. Long as I can keep him flipping pages, I got a new opportunity. And see, what they said about a novel, they say it's a long story, but it got imaginary characters in it. Walk with me. Tangler, man. If only I can imagine me being out of the situation that I'm in. And see, too many of us are going to sleep settling for the situation that I am. And God is saying, get back in the book. Keep flipping the pages. Flipping the pages. Flipping the pages. Flipping the pages. And eventually, you will get to your new chapter in your life. And then when I get to my new chapter in my life, God is saying, sing unto me a new song. Praise my holy name. He said that understand that weeping may endure for a night, but joy. And I come to ask you, when is it time for your joy to come? And I'm sick and tired of being in my suffering stage, but I stayed there long enough that this morning, when I woke up, I had enough sense on my mind to say, thank you, Lord, that my joy is here this morning. Amen. So my brothers and sisters, is it your new chapter? If it's your new chapter, you need to start reading a new book. You can't keep picking up that old book, the old story of your life. The reason that we talked about this and we thought about this as we were on the prayer line, I thought about the life of my niece, and I thought about all the inner city kids that don't have a book. And see, if somebody put a novel in their hand, an imaginary book, think of the little girl that didn't have a father. Think of the little boy that didn't have a mother. But somebody put a book in their hand and showed them two fathers and two mothers and two opportunities. That book could take that child's mind out of their situation and take them somewhere else for what? So that they can imagine a life better. And so if they can imagine, if they can dream it, we just got to come up in their life to help them achieve it. Yes, and God is saying, I see you stuck in your mother. I see you stuck where you are. And God is saying, all I'm trying to get you to understand that this is a new chapter. It's time to celebrate. And the cause that I wanted you to understand is God saying, I realize where you are in your life. And if you just admitted that you got yourself there, many of us. And if I realize that I got myself there, guess what? God is saying, I showed up right on time to tell you, I'm going to take you out of your mess. But I need you to understand that when I take you out of your mess, I need you to praise my holy name in front of people. Because it ain't you the only one that's in your mess. There's a whole lot of other people that's still in their mess. And God is saying, I'm counting on you that if I bless you, I need you to tell others so that I can help bless them. And God is saying today that we need to leave this church today and start telling and showing people that there's a new chapter in our life. They need to start asking, man, why are you smiling? And you got to say, man, I'm celebrating. They got to say, celebrate what? Because God, what? His pain only lasted but a moment. But guess what? I got favor on my life. And I hope that you got favor on your life. Amen? Amen. God is good.